Alright folks, welcome back to the Don's channel. I am the Donfather and I'm now going to be doing a reaction for a brand new patron of ours, Gary Moore from Down Under. Thank you very much, Gary. I really do appreciate the support. It really does help the channel and our quest to fund our AFL vlogging trip down under whenever that will be possible to do so given the current situation. So, as I said, massive thank you to you, Gary. This one that I've found isn't actually what was requested, but it is of a man that was suggested for a request. It is AJ Whitten, Mr. Football as he was affectionately known, or just simply Ted or Teddy Whitten. This one that I'm going to do, I actually haven't done this reaction and I haven't seen the video either. I absolutely love Teddy Whitten. Very passionate speaker, very powerful figure, and he's got so many moments that were captured on video of him either giving somebody sprays or inspiring motivational speeches. This one's Ted Whitten talks state of origin on wide world of sports with Neil Kearney 1990. So without any further ado, let's get into it and watch what this video has to offer. No more talking then, let's go.
People, and we won the title back, Lou. That's the biggest thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's real big.
And it was the stroke of genius playing those two full forwards up there.
You said it wouldn't work.
Well, it did, Ted.
It did work, and everybody said it wouldn't work, and it did work.
Doesn't EJ look worried at this stage?
Followers of State of Origin Aussie rules don't need such things as scoreboards to check the game's fortunes. There's a far more engaging barometer, ranging from bright red to purple, from boiling hot to flaming, from certifiable to a stretcher.
Yeah, definitely.
And Teddy's face says it all.
When Victoria
Not a happy
loses,
man there.
it's Ted Whitten who's up front.
We were devastated, we were shell-shocked.
There's the siren. The game's
I
on.
love how he wore his heart on his sleeve. He wasn't afraid
Even his humility
to show his
was
emotion.
overpowering.
That's Billy. He's the man. He's the man. Come on, talk to him. Hey, you, come here. He's the man, Billy. Tell him, son.
For those who have never heard of Ted Whitten, which means those who
Look
are
at the
mystified
dirt
by
all
the
over
sight
them.
of 36 men in funny jumpers chasing spherical balls around a paddock, he is Mr. Football.
What is this crazy sport?
Enjoy yourself today. Victoria boys are hard to beat when they come out to play.
The limelight he enjoys currently as Victoria's
Leading the song.
team selectors. But he was the game's greatest player, a legend who did all those things that folk heroes do, who played a record 321 games.
Oh, I love that. Wait
And
him out.
even at 58, is still the most imposing, the most lovable larrikin in the game.
G'day, Ted.
Hello, Leo. Hi, son. The wide world of sports to the western suburbs, eh?
Squeezing the boy's hand like
I want to
that.
ask you a few questions. Dan, I want to ask you a few questions. Son, be a man. Do you think you get the upper hand by shaking a bloke's hand like this?
Well, the first thing you do is guard your hand, because you know when you shake hands, it's going to be a strong grip, and you've got to be, otherwise it'll be crushed.
Ron Barassi, another great of the game.
16 years of age, you know, just only the shave, and this is where all the big men play their football. And
Footscray,
look around
the
room,
mighty
all
West.
Billy are here, and up here behind you, that's the Past Players Association. All the blokes that played here many years ago, they meet here every Saturday and have a few beers, and they kick goals an extra 50 yards, and they play an extra 100 games.
The Hall of Fame, if you like.
What year is that, Ted? 1961, Neil. Yeah. It's a 61 side made the grand final that year against Melbourne.
And a bit of plaster on the old wrist?
Yeah, I had 7 broken wrists, and they finished up taking a bone out of my wrist.
How many?
7 broken wrists, and they took a bone out, smashed it to pieces.
How could you break your wrist so
Oh, falling from big heights.
One such occasion when his wrist fell from a big
Smashed the
height was a
bone in
match
his
against
wrist to
Collingwood.
pieces.
Coach Charlie
Fucking
Sutton
madman, I absolutely love it.
quietened a noisy nuisance.
Sutton said, someone's got to fix Richards up. And it was just before half-time, and Lou was running around, did a fancy blind turn, ran right into an elbow. And it just sort of cracked his jaw a little bit, and he didn't come back after half-time. But before he left the ground, he said, "I'll never ever forget you, kid. I'll get you. It's the last thing I do."
But I didn't say that because I couldn't have possibly said it.
That's absolutely
It's pretty hard
magic.
to talk when you're lying on a stretcher knocked out. I think he's imagined that because Ted does have a tremendous imagination. I think he's...
Did you get him back, Luke?
I got him back the next year, the first game. Of course I got him
The
back.
ball was bouncing, the ball was tapped to me, and I went to get it, and I had 2 fists right in the face. And down I looked up, and I got to see Louis looking down at me. He said, "I told you,
Oh,
kid, a
brilliant.
monkey never forgets."
Whitten made monkeys of many a rival, but it was his way of asserting himself, his greeting, that made their eyes water.
Just a menace.
Over the years, how many testicles did you squeeze?
Oh, I wouldn't know in numbers, but it's a tall and large and mediums, and I'd say the majority of them medium size.
Did you find the testicle a vulnerable area to grab, or just easy?
It depends how much pressure you applied and the situation you're in. And
Did you find it had a strong effect on players?
oh, with some it did. With some it did.
Fucking right, it had an extreme effect.
21.
With trial by video, how many would you have played, Ted?
21.
What are you going to miss the most?
He would never got away with anything.
The actual action out there on the ground, mixing it with the players, taking the knocks and giving them, giving some cheek.
He looks like a warrior, the face.
With umpires.
Now tell me, Mr. Whitten, Mr. Football.
Love this stuff.
Did you ever give some back chat to the little man in white?
Never talked an
Yes.
umpire in my life, except to say g'day.
Footscray's monument to its favourite umpire is the E.J. Whitten stand.
I'd love to sit there and have a hot dog one day and the footy's on a cold can of Foster's.
Would you?
Yeah, and Barrick like the rest of you.
Foster's
Hot
steady.
sauce running down me and a cold can of Foster's like a real
and
big
yell-
norm.
And yell,
Working class hero.
and yell abuse at some
The
dirt
doggies.
and listen-
Yo, mongrel umpire!
There's no one out there, Ted, it's all right.
He's mad as a bunch of frogs. Love it. Psycho. Brilliant.
Our own champ, Ronnie Miller.
Bulldog brow. Are you getting sick of seeing me?
Not since Jack Nicholson played R.P. McMurphy had anyone been cast more brilliantly than Ted when he retired from footy. As Jack Little's replacement on the wrestling, he was a giant amongst equals.
I enjoyed it. I travelled the world with Andre the Giant, 7 foot 5 inches tall, 45 stone. Hated a drink. We come back from Ballarat one night and he said, "We'll have a drink on the way." He drank a
He
can
did
of
a drink,
cans
eh?
from Ballarat.
35 stone. Now just watch him fly through the air. For the size of the big fellow, he is very agile indeed. He is airborne there. Lands right on the top with a body press on to Malumba. Covers him for the count of 3.
We wrestled one night at the Melbourne Festival Hall. We went to a...
I never knew he did that.
And I said, "Have a beer, Andre." He said, "No beer, boss. Andre off the beer. Andre, have a wine." He drank 14 bottles of Matus. I put his up under the table again. Oh, could he drink? Yeah. Enormous drinker. But they were great. They were great showmen.
That's
They were
absolutely
strong to be
magic.
able to lift the guy, 18, 19 stone above your head, even though they jump for a start. Give themselves a kick start.
What a man this is.
To relax on the day before last Tuesday's State of Origin match, Ted arranged a gentle game of golf with his son.
A gentle game of golf, here we go.
lake.
See you up there. Yep. I think I'll go the long way.
I think I'll go the long way. His ball's over there, that's why he's got to go that
What am I
way.
going to do wrong here? Where's my ball?
Across the other side.
He's absolutely shanked it.
His health is as erratic as his backswing. Even this so-called immortal suffers Paget's disease, an ear disorder, a duodenal ulcer.
He's digging up
He's just
more
had a
grass than
prostate
Mike
operation,
Tyson.
And on top of all that, he has a totally incurable case of good humour.
That's fucking brilliant.
I got it.
He's retrieving the golf club from the tree.
Out there, will you?
No way, man. I love the absolute erratic madness of the man.
It's just an overall thing. He doesn't know how to hold it, doesn't know where to look, doesn't know where to line himself up. He thinks he's kicking a footy.
I wouldn't describe my golf game as being very good today at all. I'm not having the best of days. I think I'm excited.
This
I think I'm excited. State of Origin coming.
Straight from the golf to the Vic's last training session.
Beside Ron Barassi there.
They're going into the
On
State
his
of
left.
Origin match against South Australia with more injuries than any Victorian team in memory. The prospect of humbling Mr. Football is music to Adelaide ears.
The Vic's Supremo, Ted Whitten, stepped off the plane and into the bear pit. He was fired up by statements from John Cale.
They make excuses and they're quick to rubbish people.
But the Victorian chairman of selectors held court.
Stir it up, stir it up. Get the appetite for the game.
On camera that he thought the Victorians were loudmouths.
Yes.
And very dishonest. He said he's been over there and
he
he knows
says we're making excuses.
Yes.
But I ask him, who's making the excuses? I ask you, who do you say are making the excuses? Who? The selectors? Who?
You're loudmouths and dishonest.
Who's loudmouth?
One intimidating man.
Who?
Well,
the players. You made the statement, you tell me.
No, I don't know. He
Then why
doesn't
ask me?
And when it was over, the skipper...
He made the statement. Oh no, I don't know, Teddy.
Squeezy ride in a
Please don't hit me.
No doubt they're keen to make us eat humble pie tonight.
But it's not humble pie
1990.
that's on Ted's mind.
Can't remember who won that
Starting
one.
to run now. Getting close to the action.
That was for you.
Almost too close, yeah. I could eat the bastard too.
You'd like to be out there again?
I'd love to be out there, but it's such history.
I could eat the bastard too, talking about the
And you know
sheriff.
you're going to play for Victoria, and you pull that jumper over you with the big V on your chest, and when you look down to see that big white V, you know you've made it.
Good boy. Friendly? All right, son?
Very true. You're the best in the state.
Look, you know, a lot of people think that we are on a big salary. We don't get 1 cent, not 1 cent in this position.
So why do you do it?
Because I love football, and I love being competitive, and I love Victoria.
Love this man.
Right of centre half forward, but
I love the
From very
fire, the
start,
passion.
Vics are tougher and more
Mr.
tenacious.
Football.
And Teddy, not only is he selector, motivator and nerve case, he is like King Wally to rugby league, the big mouth who Victorians love and South Australians love to loathe. On nights like
Of course.
this, you wonder whether there'd be State of Origin Aussie rules without
Kick him,
Joe
Vic.
Whitten.
Try very hard.
And when the big V is victorious, the big chest is protruding, the big
Here we
heart
go.
is pumping, no one enjoys victory quite as much as Mr. Football.
Gracious in victory, eh?
Again! The Vicks are back in town! Oh, what are you going to sing the song, fellas? Yes, they come to play! Just for recreation, take the pasta time away! Hey. Lots of fun, heaps of fun, enjoy yourself today! Victoria boys are high for Vic when they come out to play! Hey. Join in the chorus, sing it one and all! Join in the chorus, Victoria's on the ball! Good old Victoria, can you agree?
I love how he's a man's man. Gets involved. How could you not just love the man? Brilliant. Let me tell you, maybe a little bit long-winded for you to watch as a reaction video, I don't know, but for me personally watching that, it just makes me love EJ Whitten even more. Mr. Football, you can see the passion that he has for this great game just oozing out of every single orifice in his body. The passion, the grit of the teeth, the fire in the belly. Talking about his playing days there, how he smashed a bone in his wrist. Obviously being a little menace from crushing people's testicles. But ultimately this video was about State of Origin and what Victoria as a state in terms of football meant to him. He never took a cent. He did it because he loved it. And I wish more sports stars were like that today. Passion, not necessarily out of modern sport, but certainly money is more the driving force and behind most decision making within any game these days, but Mr. Football, Teddy Whitten, was the complete polar opposite of that. He loved the game. As I said, he used football, but I love that sort of crazed psycho look, but ultimately really deep down a good guy. You can tell maybe some of it's a front, I don't know, but just genuinely brilliant entertainment to watch, and you can see it in amongst all the Victoria players around him. They looked at him as like that father figure, that old manager father figure that you just looked up to and you wanted to fucking run through walls for. You would die for them nearly. Maybe that's a bit extreme, but you would, you know, you'd go that extra metre, that extra yard, dig in, find something deeper within you, give more, because of that sort of man at the side of the field, egging you on, willing you to do well. The tenacity of the man though, absolutely love it. No wonder he's affectionately known as Mr. Football. Some of the sprays, as I did mention, I have watched some of them, that sort of motivational speeches that he has, just driving the lads on. It's brilliant to watch. It is still in sport today, but maybe just not as much as it was back in the day. I don't know if young sports stars today would respond the same way to the old sprays, hairdryer treatment from figures like Teddy Whitten. I would like to think some of them do, but I would say over the grand scheme of things they would be quite petrified and probably go into themselves and be terrified on the field. But brilliant, absolutely loved it. As I said, this video was for Gary Moore, a brand new patron of ours, and I really do appreciate your support, mate. Thank you very much. If anybody else would like personalised videos and shout outs, check out our Patreon, become a patron, and that's the best way to get that. Also, if you want to support the channel, we do have a Get Us to Us fundraiser. Donate there. Don't hesitate, donate. Don't know where that came from, it just came out. But anyway, in the description section below you'll find a link to the original video, all of my social media platforms as well. I'm not going to put the link in for this, but on Facebook I have the Donfather's AFL group, if you want to join that. Loads of AFL chat daily on that, breaking stories, etc. People posting things, just a normal Facebook page if you like. I've got one of them. But as I said, all of the Patreon page and the donation page is in the description section below too, as is our merchandise. Check that out too, and if anybody wants to send any gifts to the channel, our PO box is in the description section below also. Thank you very much for taking time to watch this video. For any older people who maybe remember Teddy when he was around, or if you grew up in that era, I hope you've enjoyed this video. For anybody younger who's been following my channel that doesn't really watch too much of the old school footy, if you like, do take some time to learn about yesteryear's heroes, maybe your own legends of your own club. They are the backbone, the building blocks, the spine, the foundations of your football club. They are the sort of the starting point of the DNA, the fabric of the club, what you mean, what your traditions and your history stand for. These sorts of characters epitomise that. So do check out your older players, etc. And some of the older videos I've done as well. I've covered quite a few older players. I am going to be doing another one for Gary Moore as well, coming shortly, so stay tuned for that. But at the end of the day, thanks very much. That's what I'm trying to say. Thanks very much for watching the video, and I hope you'll continue to enjoy the channel as we progress further. Thanks very much, and I'll see you all soon. Goodbye.